Yes, I initially started doing shorts only to, well, experiment a bit with the new thing on YouTube, but it ended up being a lot better than I expected. They ended up blowing up a lot more than I expected once again, but in the end, I will of course continue making these shorts, but I shall also be using this type of whispering emotion and whispering sound in my other videos, specifically this type of, let's say, series. Definitely let me know if you enjoyed this type of whispering over my regular whispering. I know that it might be a bit over the top for some because it makes me look like I am the Grinch or a character that is acted by, what is his name? I forgot his name. The actor that contorts his face completely when he acts. I forgot his movies as well. It's not Jimmy Falcon. It is Jim Carrey. Yes, I somewhat look like Jim Carrey because I keep moving my lips and jaw and nose and entirety of my face, especially my nose, while trying to talk in this sort of manner. It is actually not something that I am doing on purpose. It is just the side effect of me attempting to talk like this because I do not know actually why. Because I don't. I just do not. So definitely tell me what you think about my Jim Carrey-esque type of performance. I hope that you definitely enjoy it because this type of whispering seems to be something that people enjoy quite a bit. Anyway, those of you that have been following the channel for a longer time know how it all started, or should I say, how my camera looked initially, the position that it was in, and how it looked like a kind of a weird angle to film at, but it was the most effective one at the time. And even now, I still try to somewhat keep those types of memories alive, like in this video, where because of the restructuring of my entire desk, I had to move a few things, therefore my setup had to move a bit as well. But worry not, it will be soon, or should I say soon, there will be an upgrade coming that I have planned for quite a while, but it is finally coming to fruition now that I have bought the necessary equipment for me to set it up. Hopefully you guys enjoy that change as well. This one is of course only temporary until I do get the equipment as I have ordered it, but it has yet to come. I ordered it today actually, so hopefully it comes by Monday or Tuesday. Though it's actually not ordered yet, I just sent the question in for the order, but of course it will be sent as soon as possible. And honestly, I really do hope that it improves the quality of these types of videos because, well, I've been searching for what it is that I can do better in these types of scenarios in my content in general, and that seemed to be the thing that I wanted to focus on: lighting and the general background in my videos. I even got a sort of roll-up banner that I haven't tested out yet, but I want to, so we can see if I can change this background over here, because I think that it might be a bit distracting seeing a random shadow of a basketball player and a few posters as well, or from this side the entire case, what's it called, the entire dressing thing. I forgot what it's called. But in any case, I definitely need to test those out. But unfortunately, recently I have not had that much time to even try stuff out, especially today. Today has been quite hectic, but in a very positive way. I'm actually quite proud of myself and my family as well, because we did some stuff together. And we went around the city buying stuff, and in general just being quite productive and doing the things that we were supposed to do instead of procrastinating and just doing other unnecessary things and some way improve, some way make me feel like I am doing something important either for myself or for others, just because it is the most deep, in my opinion, the best way that you can use your time in general. So honestly, I hope more people start doing this, because I know that I myself am quite a lazy person at times, and I tend to irrationally do some things that I just shouldn't be doing at the moment, but at other times when it might not be as expected, I try to be as efficient as possible. I sometimes like to define myself as a person that does things in the most efficient possible way, so I don't have to do as much things later on, but more as in I am the laziest person, but I am not lazy for the things that will allow me to be lazy later on. This is something that I wanted to coin in the future, as I have not heard it before from others, but I really do enjoy the concept of doing stuff now so you can be lazy later. And it's actually a concept that I only discovered, or should I say coined, during high school, because prior to that I used to always be the basically last person to ever want to get their verbal exam done, actually do their verbal exam part of each class. I waited for the professor to have to call my name, and that usually went quite bad, but once I noticed that being the first or among the first is probably the easiest way to get through with something, especially since then you have a period of about 5 to 6 weeks when everybody else is stressing out and you are done with most of your responsibilities for that class, and you can focus both on other things and not be stressed out the entire period every time that the teacher decides to call up people for verbal exams, verbal communication examination. I am not sure how it's called because it's different in Serbia. I mean, not different, but we have a singular word for it. It's called odgovaranje, and it is, well, it's not exactly the same as verbal exam. It's more like just saying verbalization of the topic or something like that. In any case, that is essentially when I got to the entire idea of doing stuff before. Of course, that is not a novel idea in that sense. Of course, people have been doing that for a lot longer than I have, but I do not think that people have looked at it from the same perspective of doing things now to be lazy later. They have just been looking at it more like doing stuff now to allow yourself to have less things to do in general. But I specifically look at it as something to be lazy after, because that is just something that I enjoy. Being lazy is magnificent, if I do say so myself, and I can imagine a lot of you, which are also procrastinators or quite lazy as I am, will agree with me. But yes, I forgot what it is that I was going for with this, but in general, yes, I enjoy using up my time in those sorts of ways. And the thing that changed the most when I started university was actually, goddamn, that stomach though, was actually the fact that, well, every day I had to do something for a certain type of class, or I had to like organize my days a lot more and a lot better for them to actually work. Though that actually happened more once I got a job. I mean, the first job that I had, that is now over, but I am getting a new one, so yeah, maybe it's not over yet. exactly that. They're just a project that we've been doing for the entirety of the actual semester, while in a lot of other areas that aren't game design, as I study game design, there are not things like that. There's a lot more studying, a lot more theory, and especially in stuff like medicine and biology, there's just a bunch of theory and word remembrance and other languages like learning, remembering Latin, in particularly with medical stuff. So it is definitely a lot different than it is here, and I'm quite thankful for that. But still, I hope that you guys do not have to experience this type of thing. If you do, let me know how it is that you are going with it, and if you can properly manage it, or if it is kind of getting out of your hand, because if it is, it's okay. I'm sure that there are a lot of harder situations that are quite easily that people could understand, wouldn't be that easy to get through, and maybe somebody is telling you that it is not that way, that you should be able to do it, but don't listen to them. Not because there is nobody in the world that could do it. There probably is somebody crazy enough to be able to do something with such efficiency and so much time lost, but not everybody is capable of dedicating their 24 hours of their day to doing some particular activity, while others are. I sometimes think of myself as one of those people, but I do still need to sleep, just like everybody else. Though I do find sleep to be quite the waste of time, not because I do not enjoy it. Sleep is quite enjoyable when you think about it. I love sleeping, and that is why I'm extremely lazy. But at the same time, sleep in itself is just a lot of wasted time by your body, because you are not doing anything. You are just spending parts of your life laying on a bed, or not even that, depending on your situation, and just doing nothing. You understand it biologically that it is necessary, but it is still not something that is in that sense logical and efficient. That's why a lot of people, a lot of workaholic type of people, tend to not sleep as much. But I still do like to get my sleep, my beauty sleep, especially in periods where I either didn't have that much time to sleep, where I had morning classes, or where I had something else that I had to do during the day that just got me up and got me nervous, and I had to focus on that. But in any case, I've gone on long enough, honestly. I hope that you guys enjoyed this type of video with this weird facial contraction, with Jim Carrey type vibes video. If you did, definitely leave a like, comment on what you enjoyed, and if you enjoyed it more than you do with my regular whispering, and in general other people's regular whispering, and subscribe and click the notification bell, as a lot